Welcome everyone to today's session. Today, myself and Paunabin will be discussing who and what Tirthankars are. We would like to make this session as interactive as possible. So if anyone has questions, we want to encourage you to put them in the chat or raise your hand and ask. I'm going to hand it over to Paunabin, who's going to start off with a prayer. Paunabin.
Jai Jinendra to everyone. Hope બધા સાતામાં હસો હમણાં આંબેલે પૂરી થઈ. So please બધા હાથ જોડી આંખ બંધ કરી ને આપણે પ્રાર્થના શરૂ કરશું. નમો અરિહંતાણમ નમો સેતાણમ નમો આયરિયાણમ નમો ઉવજાયાણમ નમો લોયે સવસાહોણમ એસો પંચ નમોકારો સવ પાવપણાસણો મંગલાણંચ સવ્વેસેમ પરમં હવૈ મંગલમ. આપણે સરસ્વતી માતાની સ્તુતિ પણ કરશું. श्री सुत देवी सरस्वती भगवत हमको वर देना, जीवन की बांसुरी में देवी श्रद्धा स्वर भर देना, तूने हमको सरस्वती भगव हमको वर देना, जीवन की बांसुरी में देवी श्रद्धा स्वर देना. जय जिनेन्द्र. અને હવે હું દર્શનાબેનને આપું છું. દર્શના, carry.
Thank you very much, Paunabin. I want to first of all ask those that feel comfortable to put their videos on. So I want to start off with a couple of questions to see what everyone knows about Tirthankars, who they are. So who can tell me who and what Tirthankars are? Okay, so Tirthankars, the term Tirthankar is widely associated with Jainism. Tirthankars are spiritual teachers who, they're spiritual teachers of Dharma, the righteous path. Tirthankars are those that have conquered the cycle of birth and death, and they have shown a path for everyone to follow. Tirthankars are also arihants who have conquered their inner enemies, such as anger, greed, pride, and ego. Now, my second question to everyone, and I'd like people to answer this, is who knows which Tirthankar is the most popular?
Parshvanath, but even though we believe in Maviswami?
Nilma, you are correct. What made you say Parshvanath, Bhagwan?
Because there's 108 Parshvanath, and also a lot of stutis are sort of for Parshvanath, and some of the dhams are to do with the Parshvanath as well.
I like that answer. We've got Kiran saying Rishabh and Mahavir Swami. Any other, anyone else?
Hi.
Hi.
I was going to say Parshvanath, but if I think about the top 5 most popular, then it just seems to be Shantinath, Rishabhadev, Shantinath, Parshvanath. Sorry, the top 4: Rishabhadev, Parshvanath, Shantinath, and Mahavir Bhagan. They seem to be
Okay.
the 4 most ones that we revere.
And why have you given those 4?
I guess it's I mean, when I was in India, a lot of the darasas, the 3 were Mahavir Bhagwan, Rishabhadev, Parshvanath. They were the 3 focal points. And I'd always see like a Shantinath one, and also the Shanti prayer. And I know we do a lot of prayers to Shantinath as well. So that's the reason.
Yeah. I like your answers.
I think the only other one I would add maybe to the 4 that Sejal just mentioned is Neminath.
Yeah.
Neminath Bhagwan, again, because of the story about his how he renounced the daily life and went into to liberate his soul, is normally what most people can see it as very sort of they're able to relate to it. So yeah, probably that would be the top 5.
Brilliant. We've got Adinath in the chat as well. Aarti Ben, you said you were unfamiliar with some of the terms. If you don't mind clarifying which terms that you're unfamiliar with, please.
Sorry, it was totally unfamiliar language, totally new words that I don't believe we've covered in previous sessions. So it was really interesting what Nilma was saying, but I'll admit I couldn't quite keep up. Maybe it'll get covered in the session.
Sure.
So yeah, I can be patient. Thank you.
No worries. So I'm glad quite a few of you have given the names of the Tirthankars that you think are popular. So from what I've read, it is Parshvanath Bhagwan. Parshvanath Bhagwan is our 23rd Tirthankar, who propagates the concept of non-violence, truthfulness, and compassion. The reason he's the most popular is because there are more derasas with his idol in it compared to any other Tirthankar. Now, Mahavir Swami is a well-known Tirthankar. He's the most important, and like the reason he is the most important is because he propagates the concept of ahimsa. Bhavana, and if you want to add anything, please feel free to do so. My next question to everyone is, how many Tirthankars are there and how do you identify them?
24. They each have, I think each one has an animal. So Rishabhadev has a bull. Yeah. So they have a little icon effectively that associated with them. I assume with Parshvanath it's a snake, or Sheshnag, I assume. I can't remember my Bhagwan, but yeah, they would have an animal or some sort.
Yeah.
So apparently there's a few others within the universe now that I sort of come across. So, for instance, last time I spoke with Mira. She told me that Ravan is another Tirthankar in the upcoming circle.
Mhm. I'm not aware of that. Paunabin, are you aware of this?
Yes, I am aware of it, and Ravan will be one of the Tirthankars, but not in this era, but may in the next era which comes. And he is not going to be in the Bharat Kshetra, but he is going to be in one of the other Kshetras. So if we are surviving and if we are still Jains and if we are around, but Ravan will not be in Bharat Kshetra. He is going to be in another Kshetra. And I am not able to actually explain. I understand it, but I can't explain the geography of Jainism. So that would be another topic completely separately. But you're right, Ronak, that Ravan is going to be one of the Tirthankars in another Kshetra.
Sorry.
But we will be talking about the future Tirthankars who are going to be on Bharat Kshetra, and we are on Bharat Kshetra as well. So I've been told that just the way the world we have here, there are other worlds around, and like Mahavidya Kshetra is one of them, where Simandar Swami is. So there are other Kshetras which we can't reach there, nor they can reach us. But there are other Kshetras, and one of them is Mahavidya Kshetra as well. Does that answer?
Sorry, could I just ask what Shatra means?
Kshetra is like one of the worlds. So we are in, it's an area, but it's like area is a vast area, like a world. So Bharat Kshetra, this world is called Bharat Kshetra. So that's the name given to this world in Jainism when during Rishabdev's time, and his son's name was Bharat, and they're named after him Bharat, and that's why what we've got now. If anybody else on the who are joining us, and if they've got more insight to it, please join and give us the more depth knowledge. Would be great.
Just a quick explanation, I think. If you look at the concept of multiverse, taking the concept from the comic books, it is like that. So every Kshetra is a different verse. And to reach that verse, you have to have had a certain amount of karma and good deeds and things to go there.
Thank you, Kavita.
I think my understanding of Kshetra, which is probably translated into English, is like civilization. So like different civilizations. I don't know if that is appropriate, but that would be my understanding.
I think maybe we need to have in one of these during this beginners class, maybe we will have a geography lesson of how Jainism is incorporated. Do you think that would be a good idea?
It definitely would be, because I don't understand Jain geography fully.
Okay, so we will ask Sandipai to have a have a look at our sessions, and yeah, we can put it down. Thank you, Shitalba.
Sorry, just a quick question. Would what Govit said be like in other dimensions as well, or just universes?
My understanding from other classes is that yes, it would be in another dimension because they would be parallel to our existence. Hope that helps, Ronak.
Yeah.
Hi.
Like,
Sorry, can I just ask one question? How can it be parallel to us when we say okay, we are in the fifth ara, but nobody can get to that level now? So we can't really be parallel, can we?
I think it's something to do with karma as well. So there is, yeah. I'm just learning as well. So this is what my understanding is, rather than somebody is teaching that these kshetras are there, and the Tirthankar or the Bhagwan, as you would call them, is there in that kshetra and is presiding over that kshetra.
I understand same as Kavit Pai from other classes that there's a Bharat Kshetra which is ours, then there's a Mavita Kshetra, and Bharat Kshetra is not just one. From what I could understand, there is multiple of that. And the time cycle is similar to us in some of them, and time cycle is different to us in some of them. And at the moment, nobody can go to Moksha from here, but there are, like Simanda Swami is in Mavita Kshetra, from what I could understand, who's going to be one of our next Tirthankar in next era. From what I could understand from the other classes, I might be wrong.
Simandar Swami is actually in Mahavidya Kshetra now, and you're right that their time cycle is different from ours. But there, it's they can go to moksha from there, but not from here.
Hi, I think Mahavita Kshetra, as somebody said earlier on, is parallel to us, or it's in the same time period as us. Only that I believe people who have emancipated from Bharata Kshetra, before unless they go to Mahavita Moksha directly, they can go into Mahavita Kshetra, and then from there, whatever the karma does next.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so I think we kind of deviated into Jain geography from the Tirthankars there. So someone said we've got 24 Tirthankars, which is correct. And that's in this current time. And the best way to identify them is through their lanterns, which are their symbols. Now, this is what we're going to be discussing. I'm going to hand it over to Bhavanabin, who's going to talk about the first Tirthankar. Gavit Pai. Yeah, thank you, Gavit Pai.
Kavit Pai, can we have the first Tirthankar? Thank you. Namo Jainanam to Rishabdev. So Ajit, Rishabdev Bhagwan is also known as Adinath Bhagwan. He was the first Tirthankar of this time cycle which was in the third era. He was born to his parents, Napinath and Marudeva, and it was the time of twins, or it's called Yuglik time, when they were born as twins, a boy and a girl. And the twins, the brother and the sister, would spend the time together, and they would get married to each other as well. And they would have the twins as well in their adulthood. He got married to his twin Sumangala, who was a mother of 99 sons, including Bharat, who was a Chakravati, and a daughter, Brahmi. He got married to Sunanda as well, who was his other twin sister, but her partner or her brother or husband had died. So so Adinath Bhagwan got married to Sunanda as well. She was mother of Bahubali and Sundari. So this, during that time, the people were very naive about things, but very simple as well. And there was a tree which was called Kalpavruksh, where they were able to get whatever they wanted. During those times, people didn't eat like we do 3 times a day. They would eat maybe once in a week or twice in a week, and they would be satisfied. And all they have to do is go and stand under the tree, and they would get what they wanted. But as it was nearly the end of the third era and coming into the fourth, that is when the Kalpavruksh was giving out less as well, and people were not getting enough, and that meant a bit of upsets between people, and that's when bit of violence started. Not really violence, but disagreements and things like that. So Rishabdev Bhagwan, he was far-sighted and industrious individual. He had profound insight into the human psychology, looking at the needs, the times and society. He evolved numerous arts, crafts, trades of agricultural produce. He invented the alphabet, language, and the number along with the tools for writing. And he taught his daughter Brahmi the language and the writing skills. For self-defense, he evolved martial arts. He also established social security and penal codes, pottery, architecture, music, dance, and many other arts and crafts that enriched the human society in the fields of knowledge, art, entertainment, and administration, and many more. So he was the first who actually organized and taught 64 different karas. That's what kara is in Gujarati, but we would call art and craft, but not just art and craft, but living needs as well. So Rishabdev Bhagwan was the first king. He was the first to take Diksha, and he was the first Tirthankar. Rishabdev's grandson, Bharat's son, Marichi, who later on we know as Mahavir Swami. So Marichi, who was Bharat's son and Rishabdev's grandson, became our last Tirthankar. Also, just to give you a bit of highlight, in the Hindu text of Bhagavad Purana, it is mentioned Rishabh as an avatar of Vishnu. According to Bhagavad, he was born to show the people of the world the path of salvation. It was he who advised people to follow the path of bliss and not indulge in a life of worldly pleasures and enjoyment. You can also see from some of the bullet points which we've got there, Rishabdev Bhagwan, his luncheon was a bull, but his height, 1,500 meters, lifespan, 84 lakh purva. Now, we tried to find out what purva meant, but it's more than 1 million. I don't know, millions or trillions. So we couldn't work it out, but it's a very, very, very long lifetime. So he laid the foundation for Jainism. He attained nirvana or moksha at Ashtapad. So the main temple, which we all know, is Shatrujay at Palitana. But even in UK, Oswald Centre, we have good Rishabdevs there as well. I will now hand it over to Darshnaben. Darshnaben?
Thank you, Pawnabin. Gavit, if you could go on to the next slide, please. The second Tirthanka Ajit Nath, Namo Jinaram, Ajit Nath Bhagwan. So Ajit Nath Bhagwan's luncheon is an elephant. His lifespan was 72 lakh purva, and his height was 1,350 meters. He attained nirvana at Summit Shikhar, and the main temple is at Daranga. If we can move on to the next slide, please. Namo Jinaram Sambhavnath Bhagwan. Sambhavnath Bhagwan's luncheon is a horse. His height is 1,200 meters, and his lifespan was 60 lakh purva. He also attained nirvana at Summit Shikhar. And the main temple is in Uttar Pradesh, in a city called Shravasti. If we can move on to the next one, please. Namo Jinaram Abhinandan Swami. The luncheon for Abhinandan Swami is a monkey. The height for Abhinandan Swami was 1,050 meters, and lifespan was 50 lakh purva. He also attained nirvana at Summit Shikhar. As we're going through this, you probably noticed that the height and the lifespan of Tirthanka started decreasing. If we can go on to the next slide. Namo Jinaram Sumatinath Bhagwan. Sumatinath Bhagwan's luncheon is a crane, which is a bird. His height was 900 meters, and his lifespan was 40 lakh purva. He also attained nirvana at Summit Shikhar. If we can move on to the next slide, please. Our sixth Tirthanka Padma Prabhu Swami Namo Jinaram. His luncheon is a red lotus. His height was 750 meters, and his lifespan was 30 lakh purva. And he's another one who attained nirvana at Summit Shikhar. The main temple for Padma Prabhu Swami is in Jaipur, Rajasthan, If we move on to the next slide. So Tirthankar number 7, Supashvanath Bhagwan, Namo Jinaram. His lantern is a swastika. His height was 600 meters and his lifespan was 20 lakh purva. He also attained Nirvana at Summit Shikhar. If we can move on to the next slide. Namo Jinaram Chandra Prabhu. Chandra Prabhu is our 8th Tirthankar, whose lantern was a moon. Hence the name as well, Chandra. Chandra means the moon. His height was 450 meters and his lifespan 10 lakh purva. Chandra Prabhu also attained Nirvana at Summit Shikhar. If we move on to the next slide. Namo Jinaram Suvidinath Bhagwan. So Suvidinath Bhagwan is also known as Pushpadanta. His lantern is a crocodile. His height was 300 meters and his lifespan was 2 lakh purva. Suvidinath Bhagwan also attained Nirvana at Summit Shikhar. If we can go on to, Namo Jinaram Shitalnath Bhagwan. Shitalnath Bhagwan's lantern is a Kalpa Vriksha. His height was 270 meters and his lifespan was 1 lakh purva. Shitalnath Bhagwan attained Nirvana at Summit Shikhar and the main temple is in Kolkata. If we can move on to the next slide, please. Namo Jinaram Shreyashnath Bhagwan. Shreyashnath Bhagwan, the lantern is a rhino. His height was 240 meters and the lifespan was 84 lakh. Shreyashnath Bhagwan also attained Nirvana at Summit Shikhar. We've got a question on why the height and lifespan of Tirthankars decreased from the 1st to the 24th. Is there any significance now? I don't know why that is. Bhavna Ben, would you happen to know?
Sorry, what's the question?
Why the height and lifespan of the Tirthankars decreased?
Well, I think we all understand that the life is getting shorter and shorter. So there will be there's definitely a decrease in the life. And during Adinath Bhagwan's time, I mean, we read these non-fiction stories about Jack and the Beanstalk and things like that, and we talk about giants. So I think they were probably not really fictitious stories. Maybe those times were the giant times and the heights are decreasing as they go along. And in the next, when we have the next era coming along, after the 6th one, it will go from lower to higher again. So it will go opposite way. So people will be born shorter and as they go along. And when it comes to the 6th era again there, the height will go up. The people will be taller and the age will be longer as well. That is what my understanding is, but I don't know why.
Thank you.
I hope it answers the question.
But we've got one more. What is a Kalpa Vriksha? I don't know what a Kalpa Vriksha is.
So, Kalpavruksha, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, I don't know whether it's the same thing, and I was just checking it out now, but during Adinath Bhagwan's time, there used to be Kalpavruksha, which was a big tree. Vruksh means a tree, so it was a special tree, which doesn't exist anymore, but people, for whatever their needs are, they would go under there, and the Vruksh would understand their needs and give it to them. So if they feel they're hungry for an apple, they stand there and their wish is fulfilled. So it was a fulfilling Vruksh tree during that time. So I think Kalpavruksha, I was just checking what it meant, but I think it's just the same thing. Kalpavruksha was it's a wishing tree. But if I'm wrong, then I will check it again later on, and maybe we will give the reply back the next time we meet up. Thank you.
Thank you. If we can move on to the next slide, please. So the 12th Tirthankar, Vasubhujya Swami, Namo Jiraram Vasubhujya Swami. Vasubhujya Swami's luncheon is a buffalo. He was 210 meters in height and had a lifespan of 72 lakh. He attained Nirvana at Jampapuri. And the main temple for Vasubhujya Swami is in Jampapuri. If we move on to the next slide. Namo Jiraram Vimalnath Bhagwan. The luncheon for Vimalnath Bhagwan is a boar, and his height is 118 meters. He had a lifespan of 60 lakh purva. He attained Nirvana at Shikarji. Now, there is a temple in Uttar Pradesh, but there is also a temple in Eldoret for Vimalnath Bhagwan. Sorry, a derasar rather than a temple, sorry. If we move on to the next slide. Namo Jiraram Anantanath Swami. Anantanath has two luncheons, or he's got one luncheon according to Svetambar and one according to Digambar. So according to Svetambar, Anantanath Bhagwan's luncheon is a falcon, whereas according to Digambar's, his luncheon is a porcupine. Sorry. His height was 150 meters and his lifespan was 30 lakh. He attained Nirvana at Shikarji as well. If we move on to the next slide, please. So, Namo Jiraram Dharmanath Swami. Dharmanath Bhagwan's luncheon is a Vajra. His height is 135 meters and lifespan is 25 lakh. He also attained Nirvana at Shikarji. If we can go to the next slide, please. Namo Jinaram
to Shantinath Bhagwan. His luncheon was a deer and his height 120 meters, lifespan of 700 years. He attained Nirvana at Shikarji. Sorry, there's a question, what's a Vajra? Vajra is a thunderbolt. Can we have the next slide? Sorry, Shantinath Bhagwan, he's one of the popular ones as well. And even in our Derasal at Oshal Center, we've got Shantinath Bhagwan's Murti as well. And also Shanti means peace. So especially during COVID time, when there was lots of unsettlement between, within the environment, and people were all worried. There was a lot of jap and mantras and everything on Shantinath Bhagwan, just to give you some ideas. Next one, please. Namo Jinalam Kuntunath Bhagwan. His luncheon is a goat, 105 meters in height and 95,000 lifespan, 95,000 years lifespan. He also attained Nirvana Shikarji. Today, Kuntunath Bhagwan's Moksh Kalyanak. It's today, so Namo Jinanam to Kuntunath Bhagwan. And actually his jap today was Om Rim Shri Kuntunath Swami Parangataya Namaha. Thank you. Next one, please. Next is Adharma 18th Arnath. His luncheon is a fish, height 90 meters, and lifespan of 84,000 years. He also attained Nirvana Shikarji. Next, please. Namo Jinanam, Manila Bhagwan at number 19. His luncheon is a kalash or a pot, height of 75 meters, lifespan of 56,000 years. Again attained Nirvana at Shikarji, and his main temple is at Karnataka. Next one, please.
Can I just ask a question on Malinath Bhagwan, please?
Sure.
Is there a dispute about whether Malinath was actually female?
Pardon?
I've read that Malinath, the Shwetambar philosophy is that Malinath was a female. Digambars believe Malinath was a male.
Yes, Darshna did mention that as well. She was saying that when she was looking at it, that Digambars believe Malinath Bhagwan was a female, and Shwetambar believes...
The other way around.
Sorry?
Sorry, Swetamba believes female, and Digamba believes...
Oh, okay, sorry,
yeah.
Yeah. Yes. But I don't know, so we could check that out as well, and let you know next time.
I think it's when they talk about one of the Ashcharya, that's when they mention that Malinath was a female.
All right. Okay. Yes. Yes, I've heard about that as well. So we'll clarify and let you know next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, quick question. What's the comparison between Digambar and Swetambar?
So Digambars, Svetambars believe in pujas and things like that. So we do Bhagwani puja, and while Digambars believe that they do more of a reading and things like that. I think Vinod Bhai Kapashi, when he did the first or the second class, he actually talked about it then. So we could refer to those sessions again. Is that okay?
Should we move on to the next slide? So Namo Jinaram, Muni Subrat. So Muni Subrat Swami's luncheon was a tortoise. He was 60 meters in height and had a lifespan of over 30,000 years. He attained Nirvana at Shikarji. If we can move on to the next slide, please.
Also, Munisubra Swami in Kenya, Nairobi, and
Has a
there are
temple.
some, it's Munisubra Swami.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next one.
Namo Jiraram Naminath Bhagwan. So Naminath Bhagwan is our 21st Tirthankar, whose lantern is the blue water lily. His height was 45 meters and had a lifespan over 10,000 years. He also attained Nirvana at Shikarji. His main temple is in Girna. If we can move on to the next slide, please. Namo Jinaram Neminath Bhagwan. Neminath Bhagwan's lantern is a conch, which is a shell. His height is 30 meters and he had a lifespan of over 1,000 years. He attained Nirvana at Girna and his main temple is in Ayodhya. If we can move on to the next slide, please. So, Namo Jinaram Parshvanath Bhagwan. Parshvanath Bhagwan's lantern is a cobra, which is a snake. Now, Parshvanath Bhagwan, he has over 108 names. Some of the names include Sankeshwar Parshvanath Bhagwan, Gambhira Parshvanath Bhagwan. There are many more. Some people believe there are 1,008 names. We spoke about Parshvanath Bhagwan earlier because he has the most derasas with his idol in it. Now, Parshvanath Bhagwan, in times of hardship, we remember Parshvanath Bhagwan through like a sutra called Uvasagaharam. It is believed to destroy illnesses, diseases. I know people that have said this sutra during COVID when there was a lot of diseases, epidemics, pandemics, just to come out of those pandemics. Now, his height was 13.5 feet and he had a lifespan of over 100 years. He attained Nirvana at Shikarji. Bhavanaben, if you want to do...
Sorry.
Go on.
Parshvanath Bhagwan is also although Mahavir Bhagwan was the last Tirthankar, Parshvanath Bhagwan is more popular also because during his past lives, he had done a lot of good, and also while he was in Devlok, he did all the other, from when Vimalnath was, from Vimalnath up to Adinath Bhagwan, he used to do all their Kalyanaks and everything. So Parshvanath Bhagwan, in his past lives, he had done a lot of good deeds, and also he prayed a lot, and that's why he was given that extra. That's why people believe in him a lot. And also, when we say 108 names, some of them, they don't even look the same. Where the Parshvanath Bhagwan has got the snake on top, and the cobra, some heads are 7, some of them have got 9 heads, some of them have got even more, and some less as well. So they're quite distinct and different as well. So Parshvanath Bhagwan has definitely got different names as well, 108 names. And I've got a book here. And in this book, it has got different names, but even with different pictures in there as well. Thank you. You can move to next one.
Namo Jinaram Mahavir Swami Bhagwan. Mahavir Swami is our last Tirthankar, and his lantern is the lion. He was 10.5 feet tall and had a lifespan of over 72 years. Now, Mahavir Swami is also known as Vardhaman or Veer. He attained Nirvana at Bawapuri, and that's where the main Derasar is, in Bawapuri. We also have a Derasar in Oshawa Centre, Potter's Bar. We've just celebrated his Janma Kalyanak on Sunday just gone. Yeah, if we can move on to the next slide. So this slide is just telling us who our future 24 Tirthankars will be, starting with King Shrenik. And we've also got Krishna Bhagwan, who will be our future Tirthankar known as Amam. Yeah. Paunabin, did you want to add anything to this?
No, it's already there. So if you want to have a look at your own time, you're more, have a look. But there's, as King Shrenik, who was part of during Mahavir Bhagwan's time, so he's going to be the first Tirthankar in the next era. So not yet, long time to go still. As you said, Krishna Bhagwan's brother Balram, he's going to be 14th Tirthankar, Nishputa Pulaputak. He's Krishna Bhagwan's his brother's mother, so Rohini Devi, she's going to be one of the Tirthankars as well. So Karna, who was in Mahabharat as well, he's going to be one of them. So yeah, 24 Tirthankars, the future 24 Tirthankars.
So
thank you, Darshnavi.
I have a question on this, on the 24, which is, just if I give the example of Krishna, I understand if you have achieved moksha, then you cannot be reborn, or you're not reborn, and then you will not come back as Tirthankar. But I understood, so I assume then in this instance, in the Jain Dharam theory, Krishna never achieved moksha, which is why he would be reborn. That's a question. I don't know, but I'm making that assumption.
Isn't it
Sorry.
the devlok? Krishna
Sorry?
is going to devlok. Isn't it in Jain theory? People can go to devlok, so they're there, but they've not attained liberation.
Okay.
They still have to come back as a human to be liberated. Or the only time you can be liberated is as a human being, not as dev. That's what I understand.
So he never achieved liberation then. Okay, fine. That makes sense.
You're right, Nilma Ben. The only place from where you can get moksha is from being a human. So if you've done good deeds, we can go to devlok, but you have to get moksha, we need to still be a human and get rid of all our karmas. So we can't get rid of any of our karmas or build any good karmas when we are in devlok.
But why are there so many male Tirthankars rather than more females or anything, or equal ratio, whatever?
Well, although there might be female names here, but I understand that the Tirthankars are male, so I don't know. But obviously, you know, we could be female now, but we don't know what our next lives are going to be, whether we are going to be male, female, or anything different. So this is just what the people we know now. So how long that's going to be, we don't know. So they could be.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, is it true that it's only male that can become Tirthankar, not females?
That is what our, yes, that's what I'm just saying, that's what our understanding as well, that only male can be. But then according to some people, Malinath Bhagwan was a female as well. So but I understand that all the Tirthankars are male. Yeah.
So I was just going to say, I think that's where there's a big point of difference in our Jain song, where I'm pretty sure I've read up on this, where a Digambar philosophy is that only males can achieve liberation and become Tirthankars, but in the Shwetambar philosophy, females can. So I think that's where there's a split. And I know all these names suggest they're male, but they may not be. That's my view.
But you can't become Tirthankar after liberation.
No, but what I mean is that what I'm saying is that here we're saying you're born human and then you achieve these 24 will become Tirthankars, right? And I'm saying that the Jain Sangh is split and divided in that Shwetambars generally believe that females can become Tirthankars, whereas Digambars believe females cannot become Tirthankars.
All right, okay. Right, sorry, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dashnaben, carry on.
Thank you. So now we've covered, sorry, we've covered all 24 Tirthankars and a few of the future 24 Tirthankars. Now, there are songs and sutras that people can recite to remember the 24 Tirthankars in order. So one of the main sutra or well-known sutra is called the Loga Sutra, which names all 24 Tirthankars in order. And one really good song to remember Tirthankars in order is called Pahela Rushabdel Bolo. Now, if anyone would like links to this song, please do contact Sandip Pai and he'll be able to give you a link to the song. If anyone has any questions, please do ask them now.
I have a question. The lecture you had 2 weeks ago, that hasn't been uploaded. Is there any chance somebody can do that because I missed it?
Yeah, I'll make a note of that.
And also, you were saying that we were going to have a meeting at Oshwell Center. Is that going to happen? Because there were some books you were going to provide and things.
Yeah, I think it got postponed because of Ambel, but I'm happy to talk to Sandip Pai on that one.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Bijal, yes, I'll ask Sandip Pai to put the link for the song in the WhatsApp group. We've got a couple of questions in the chat. Paranabin, I think I'd like your help on some of these. So one of the questions is from Nilma, who said, why was Suvidinath Bhagwan also known as Pushpadanta?
I think that was his name before, and then I don't know. Sorry. I will check it out. We will check it out. Unless anybody else in the chat, in the group knows.
Then we've got how long are each cycles or stages from Ronak?
How
long are each cycles stroke stages?
So in terms of the era,
Ronak, do you want to say it out? And
so as in you said we're in the 5th era at the moment.
yes.
So how long do you roughly know, like, between the first era and the second era, and then the second to third, third to fourth, and then
So again, that was something which we had covered.
I think it's 24,000, isn't it? 24,000 years.
So this era, the 5th era, to finish off, we've still got about 18,000 years. And then we've got 6th era, so which will be in double number thousands. So quite a long time still. But I'm sure Vinod Bhai Kapasi did give us numbers there, but it was such a long number. So I didn't actually take that in completely. But I do know that there's still 18,000 years left for the 5th era to finish. And then we've still got 6th era. Sandipa is saying to everyone 21,000.
Next question. A few people have asked, what is a Vajra?
Vajra is it thunderbolt? The one which Hanuman holds?
And
is it a thunderbolt?
It's called a gada.
Pardon?
A mace, gada. It's called a gada. The one that a vajra is like a gada. It's like
yes, yeah.
And we've got a question from Sanjana about a Tirthankar. She thought Ravan was going to be Tirthankar in the next era.
Yes, we did say that earlier, that he is going to be a Tirthankar, but he's going to be a Tirthankar in another Kshetra, not in Bharat Kshetra. And the 24 Tirthankars which Darshnaben you've mentioned are in Bharat Kshetra.
Thank you very much, Bhavnaben. So we really hope you have found this session interesting and valuable. Before we close, there's just one announcement to make, and that is about the Arihant School, which are offering 2 free courses if you sign up in the next couple of days. So the free courses do end at the end of April, so please do sign up. They're really valuable courses to learn from, and you can learn at your own pace. If we have made any mistakes while teaching, we would like to say Michami Dukram.
Michami Dukram.
Thank you, everyone.
So can we just say Sarvamangalam?
Yeah.
Sarvamangalam Sarvakalyana Pradhanam Sarvadharmanam Jainam Jayati Sashanam. Michami Dukram to everyone if we have said anything against our scriptures. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jai Jinendra.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, could I just ask one, like, it's slightly off the conversation, but I'm just intrigued. You know, when COVID said that the Vajra was like a thunderbolt. So then wouldn't it be sort of ironic that some of the superheroes sort of have that sort of thing as their main sort of assemblement? So as in, for example, Thor. Thor has the golden hammer or the hammer, but it's sort of called a thunderbolt as well.
So similarly, it's like a Vajra is a very strong weapon. It's well, there's two schools of thoughts on this. Vajra is can be a gada, like a gada, but it is stronger than a gada, and it's not destructible, and it emits thunder and lightning and that kind of stuff as well. So Vajra is the weapon that Indra uses. Hope that helps, Ronak.
Thanks, COVID.
Darshna, do you want to bring the session to an end?
Yeah, sorry. Thank you everyone for joining today. And we'll see you for our next class in 2 weeks' time.